visiting a particular nursing home, one of the residents loves to create religious art, and one of the posters he made, which hangs in his room, it says, "Don't worry, God is in charge." So that's a beautiful expression of trust in the Lord, that we put our lives in God's hands. And so we come to realize that God is in charge. And God has a plan for us. So we ask the Lord to help us to know that plan, to do His will, and to trust and not worry. There's the expression, let go and let God. Let God be in charge. We go along for the ride. God is at the steering wheel. We have an example of that trust with the leper who comes to Jesus. This leper was totally powerless, but he had trust in God, he had trust in Jesus, that he could be healed if it be God's will. And because of that trust and his request, he was made clean instantly. So he is an example of putting trust in the Lord. In contrast, we hear in the first reading how people chosen by God were coming to the promised land. They had left slavery, they've gone through the waters of the Red Sea. Moses had already gone up to Mount Sinai and brought down the 10 Commandments. And now they're at a place called Meribah and Massah. There is lack of water. People began to complain. They said, "Why are we here in the desert? Why don't we go back?" They were not persevering. They were not trusting. And even Moses was a little bit distraught, and his faith and confidence was waning. God instructed him, "Go over here and strike a rock, and water will come out." Well, Moses did go over, and he struck the rock twice. A sign of a little bit of disbelief. But as we hear in the reading, God became tired with the people. Again and again, they were grumbling and complaining and saying, "Well, we should go back to slavery. Let's go back to Egypt. At least there we have the food that we like, and we're not stuck here in the middle of the desert." The people turned away from God on that journey from Egypt to the Promised Land, even when Moses was up on the mountain to receive the 10 Commandments. And what was happening at the foot of the mountain? They had gathered all their gold bracelets and earrings and rings, and they melted it all down and they made a golden calf. And people were trying to worship this false image of a pagan god. And Moses comes down the mountain with the 10 Commandments, and he is furious and angry at how the people have responded, how they had lack of faith. So he crushed those tablets of the law. So God's law and God's plan, we want to entrust ourselves to the love of God and persevere. Yes, there will be testing. Yes, there will be difficult days. But we completely put our trust in the Lord because He cares for us. He has a plan for us. The penalty for the people going through the desert to the Promised Land was they would never reach the Promised Land. Moses would not reach the Promised Land. He would die before anyone would cross the Jordan River. So the original people coming from slavery never would actually reach the Promised Land, but their children did. And it's sort of a new beginning. So here today, at the beginning of a new year, we say, yes, I want to persevere. I want to trust the Lord. I want to continue my resolutions at the beginning of this year to pray, to serve, to show compassion and patience to my neighbor. Let's be persevering in how we pray the Rosary, how we celebrate the Sacrament of Reconciliation, and how we worship at Holy Mass. So in the letter to the Hebrews, it says, "Take care that none of you may have an unfaithful heart." So let's be faithful in every way.